Hello and welcome back to the Level Cap podcast for all things level 99 games or otherwise where you gotta believe.
Well, good intro, Marco. Good intro. Sorry, I was playing Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and so I didn't have a great response to that.
Oh my.
But let me tell you about this game. Oh man, the timers.
So wait, if you were waiting on a timer, why weren't you able to respond?
There's nothing quite so engaging as waiting on a timer.
Oh man.
In Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Let me tell you. You don't even really know. But we have a special guest for us. He's also a fan of Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and that special guest is Ferdinand.
Hello, everyone.
It's Ferdinand.
You may know Ferdinand as Cardboard Stacker. He's done a bunch of different videos for us and for other game companies, and reviews and tutorials and all kinds of cool stuff. So check it out on YouTube, youtube.com/cardboardstacker.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah. youtube.com/cardboardstacker, or you can go to my website, which is thecardboardstacker.com.
See, that's great. That was a great intro. I want to congratulate all three of us for making such a great intro. And
oh my.
Actually, Brad, I've been playing another game that will blow both of your minds. Okay, Ferdinand, you have to understand, this new game will blow your minds, and I think it's arguably better than Brave Exvius.
Okay.
Okay, I would send you guys the picture. I'll send it later, but there is a fidget spinner anime battle gacha game on the App Store right now, where you can open packs of fidget spinners.
That's painful.
You can't see me now, but I'm squinting and giving that evil eye.
I didn't get in on the fidget spinner craze. I really have no idea what these things are all about. But I don't want to know. I'm proud of my not knowing. I feel like I'm one of those grumpy old men. I finally become everything that I hated.
I seen them, and I actually find them distracting. It's someone.
That's the point, right?
Yeah.
That is the actual function of the device.
Oh
Yeah,
no, I can't. I think I can't have one. I can't let anyone else have one when I'm playing a game.
Okay, I'm gonna be dragging the picture of this game into our Discord chat, and you guys will see. You guys will just see.
What's it called? I think you should put what it's called so all our friends at home can Google this.
I kid you not. It's literally called Anime Fidget Spinner Battle.
That's the name of it.
Yes,
that's very creative.
Anime Fidget Spinner Battle. Okay.
Okay, wait. It's uploading right now, and you will see.
This is. Yep. Okay, that's what it is. Yep. The ultimate fidget spinner app. Oh wow!
You get to open a 6-star legendary fidget spinner.
Fidget spinner simulator with spin rotation physics.
Oh.
Reviews. Fidget spinners now control my life, my mind, and body.
See, Ferdinand, this is the beauty of the world.
This yeah. What happened to the world that I lived in? Everything I know is a lie.
Soon enough, there'll be like a little spin-off with the fidget little boxes.
Oh no, fidget cubes.
Yeah.
Nani? He summoned this fidget beast.
Okay. So
Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Should we move back?
Let's talk about Game of the Week.
Yeah.
Our Game of the Week. Sorry, our Game Club Game of this week isn't Anime Fidget Spinner Battle, but it's pretty close. And
I wish you told me about that though, because I would have downloaded it and played it.
I just found out recently myself. I found out yesterday. I saw these. I was on the App Store. I was like, "Hey, what are some good games?" And then I just saw anime fidget spinner battle. And
Like, really, you search for good games, and this is what came up?
no, sorry. I was searching for games.
I see. Well, I guess the definition of game is pretty loose.
I don't know. How do you even fight with fidget spinners, Ferdinand? Tell me, how would you fight using fidget spinners?
I don't know, gravity.
It's anime. They fight with anything. Yeah.
You spin the fidget spinners like really fast, and it pulls on the gravitational force somehow. I don't know.
One of the fidget spinners does that.
The spinner channels your soul energy, projecting the ancient ghosts of the fidget
beast. Fidget beast.
Your ancient fidget beast stand, and then those battle, but only as long as you keep the thing spinning. Because if it stops spinning, the channel breaks, and you lose the creature. So you have to try and knock your opponent off balance so that their spinner stops spinning, and then you win the battle.
Oh my
It's the only way.
It sounds perfect. It sounds perfect.
Perfectly awful. That one's free for whoever wants it.
You can take this IP that I just made. Is that what you're saying? But what if it makes them
much.
$1 million?
I think it's I think IP is a little too kind. Maybe it's a UP, an unintelligent property.
Ferdinand, would this idea make $1 million?
I won't buy it.
Dang. All right, so maybe you'll buy Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. So Ferdinand, can you tell us what Final Fantasy Brave Exvius is all about? It's like a quick lowdown.
Yeah, sure. So basically, it uses the Final Fantasy IP, and it makes it's an app game where you just go through battles, attacking using magic, summoning creatures, and all that kind of sort. And then as you go through the battles, you get rewards, you get XP, you raise your characters so they become better, and you can go through different higher levels. Yeah,
that's pretty much. I mean, if you wished there was an actual Final Fantasy battle game, I don't know. It's kind of like I've heard that it's kind of like Record Keeper, but I haven't played Record Keeper.
Record Keeper. It's kind of like that, but this is more of a more of an app game. Like it feels more like a more modern app game. The Record Keepers feels like much more of a classic, but it's much more slower too. And I didn't enjoy it as much as I'm playing XVS right now.
XVS was pretty interesting. Story wise, if you just wanted to sign in for 5 minutes and play a few Final Fantasy style battles and explore a zone, because they actually have zone exploration, which if it was just battles, it wouldn't be very good. But being able to go around and explore the zones is nice.
And I believe this one actually has a story in it, an actual original story, rather than Record Keeper that has more of kind of going back to the Final Fantasy series and here's a spot, but you can play Final Fantasy VII just for the battles and see all the wonderful pixel graphics on that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, the story is not high. It's not high fare or anything. If you want, don't play it for the story.
It's better than anime fidget spinner battle.
Does that have a story mode?
Yeah, I think it's versus.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But the fidget or not XVS. It's there's a loose story to it. But if you just wanted to sign it, play 5 minutes of Final Fantasy battles while you're waiting at line at the grocery store or something, you can get through a zone or through a battle in that amount of time. So it's it's that if you like that kind of gameplay, it's actually pretty good for that.
Yeah.
You don't just auto farm stuff. I mean, you can auto farm stuff because it's a modern app game, but you don't have to auto farm stuff. You can actually play through and fight the fights and such.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not just called Final Fantasy just because it's just they actually do use the characters from I guess from most of the main Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, your characters are summoners, and they can summon all these legends from other dimensions. So that's the story behind it.
So you do get the original, the actual Final Fantasy guys, and you also have some original characters too.
So we'll take that opportunity to creep into the prevailing gooey stickiness that is all over this game, and that's gacha mechanics. Because the only way you'll ever get to play your favorite Final Fantasy characters is if you spend in-game currency or real currency to unlock them by opening packs.
Well, in this one, I gotta say, it's actually pretty good because it's so easy to get the spending currency. I think they've kind of done a bad job with that because it's like you get as much currency, like $1 of currency, what you would have to spend an actual like US dollar for, you can get in like 10 minutes of play. So you're really you gotta your hourly wage has to be pretty good to beat just playing the game and getting stuff. And especially if you are going through the story for the story mode, you're not gonna run out of gems at any point. Like I just do the daily login. I log in and I get whatever the daily reward is, and I've got like 4,000 gems just from that I haven't spent yet.
Accumulating for that big pull. Is that what you're doing?
Yep.
Yeah.
You spend more, you get better.
Someday, when Noctis is featured again, I will just buy 4,000 pulls on the gacha machine.
Why do you want to buy a boy band member from NSYNC?
He's super strong.
So you're buying him just because he's strong?
He's top tier.
Man, gacha games.
Noctis so OP.
Gacha games. So, can we talk about the fact that you're logging in every day just to get some fictional currency?
Well, I've fallen off a bit recently because I've been playing the Skullgirls app, which is also a great gacha app, but with fighting game mechanics instead of Final Fantasy mechanics.
I see. But
that's a different conversation too.
That's a different conversation, but they all kind of pervade towards Skinner boxes, don't they? Do you think Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, both of you, do you guys think that it's a fair / humane / ethical game compared to like other stuff out there like Clash of Clans or whatever?
Well, I used to be pretty vehemently against these kind of things. Like, I mean, I was really against the randomization in Magic. I was very much part of that, like, no collectibles type crowd. But I think I've changed my opinions a bit as I've grown up and I've mellowed out, and I kind of play some of these games for fun, and I understand the appeal of it. Like, but there's a certain level of self-control that you have to have. It's just like going to a casino and pulling a slot machine, or playing blackjack or whatever else that you're going to do. You'll randomly sometimes get a thing or not get a thing. There's no limit to how much you can do this, and if you do it too much, then it's going to ruin you. And so, I mean, it's, that's how it is. But that's true of, like, if I was just going to sit down and play, like Overwatch, like you could play any amount of Overwatch, but if you do it all day long, you're gonna lose your job and waste your life away. So you kind of have to moderate yourself. And I think that while these games are, I think it's basically the same thing. Like, you still just have to have self-control with your playing habits. And the format of the game doesn't really change that. Whether you're opening magic packs, or whether you're opening digital goods, or whether you are just playing a game that has no end point, like Overwatch or Street Fighter or something. All these things, you just kind of have to regulate yourself and have your own self-control.
Yeah.
So that was really deep.
My feel about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think there's anything unethical about it.
Okay.
I think that some people lack self-control, and our society isn't very good at teaching us self-control. But I don't think it's unethical.
Yeah, that's true. I do think that games could go some way in helping us at least achieve that kind of self-control. Because we have to, like, Ferdinand, I bet you agree that some games kind of have mechanics that encourage, if not reward, this kind of behavior to the point that it's dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it's not the developer's responsibility to tell us to take a timeout. Like, there's like Nintendo games that are like that, where you go back to the spaceship in Mario Galaxy, and like Luma's like, "Hey, don't you think you should take a break?" And I'm like, "No, Luma, I'm trying to beat this stage. Go away." Like, I know when it's time to take a break. Okay,
I'm an adult. I'm a grown man.
Exactly.
They do that also in Breath of the Wild, like in the loading screen. Like, don't forget to take a break.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's good, but it's not the developer's responsibility. Like, it's nice if they do that, but I mean, it's not on them to tell us when to stop playing their games, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. Actually, what I find interesting about this is that some developers have baked the system into their game, but also made it a Skinner box, and that's what messes with me. That it's so insidious.
Well, people like Skinner boxes. I guess that's what I'm getting at. Is that like just because we're wired to enjoy these things doesn't mean that they're not enjoyable. It's not like they're tricking us into having fun.
Oh yeah,
like,
that's true.
Opening booster packs is actually fun. And I enjoy that activity, and that's why I play some of these gacha games, and I get free stuff every day. You know, I can open a booster pack, and it's fun. Woohoo! It's it's just a matter of managing your play habit.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I guess that's why they have stamina systems in place, so that it essentially forces people to stop unless you whale it, and then you never have to stop. But yeah. So
yeah.
Overall, for us three, would you guys recommend playing Final Fantasy Brave Exvius? Ferdinand first.
Yeah, I would say if you're a Final Fantasy fan, I would say go ahead and try it. It does feel like a Final Fantasy game in much more the sense, and you can actually find your favorite Final Fantasy character in there.
All right, how about you, Brad?
Yeah, I would say it's a lot of fun. Don't bother spending money on it because the gems are too easy to get otherwise. And, just don't overdo it. Play smart.
Play smart. I think I would recommend it. I played it a bit. It was interesting. I think the main character is a bit too edgy teen for me. But that's fine. If you want a better alternative, play Fidget Spinner Anime Battle. Oh my gosh. I'm going to download it after this episode.
We're basically giving that game all the buzz right now.
Yeah, all the buzz.
Oh my goodness.
After that, it's going to have like 1 million downloads. Oh my goodness.
If anything gets 1 million downloads from just us, it better be Pixel Tactics Online.
Pixel Tactics Online. Oh, and speaking of another game, that's not our Game Club game of this week. It ends our Game Club Game of the Week segment. So if you guys want us to talk about another game series or another specific game where you can hear the awesome insights of Brad and hear me joke about stuff that's tangentially related, or maybe even hear Ferdinand mystically come in and talk about Final Fantasy for no reason, tell us in the comment section down below, and we will get to that game sooner or later. So Brad, as usual when we have a guest on our show, our Character of the Week segment is appropriately replaced with our Guest of the Week segment. So Brad, tell us, who is our Guest of the Week? Who's been talking for the past at least 15 minutes?
So, Ferdinand is a secret agent. He's the 13th member of Division 13, which is
snap.
one of the areas in Walat, the Black Ops. He has secret power that he can convert anybody he meets into a video, and then the videos get compressed, and then he can manipulate them and put them back into the world, and they play out the same things. It's kind of like you ever seen the D&D spell Living Image? He has this really advanced Living Image ability. Anyway, and he uses this to defeat Oriana, save Indians, and make and become king of the world.
And all the girls love him.
Yeah, that's just the prelude. But in the next game, we're going to continue his story even further.
Wow.
So yeah, why don't you tell us a bit about his playstyle, Marco?
Okay, so Ferdinand's mechanics all focus around being this tricksy brawler, ranger, trickster, juggernaut, speedster. Actually, Ferdinand can do everything. And
the archetypes.
Yeah, it's like jack of all trades, master of everything. That's how strong Ferdinand is. The only drawback is that he starts with 10 health. So it's kind of like that's the balancing that we're trying to do here. Ferdinand's unique ability allows him to essentially create Ferdinand clones on the board, and every single one of those Ferdinand clones is actually an opponent, and every time they move, they turn into markers. So that's kind of what confuses people. When he attacks someone, each of the clones actually plays an attack pair in his discard pile, but his discard pile is actually 7 discard piles long because he has 100 cards, right? So each and every single one of the clones, who occupy all 7 spaces, by the way, they play each successive discard pile in priority order reversed.
Yeah. If you have any questions, you can check the Ferdinand chapter of the FAQ.
Which is 20 pages long.
Yeah, and the rulebook is 21 pages.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's an entire expansion. It's BattleCon Ferdinand.
BattleCon Ferdinand of Indians.
Ferdinand of Indians. The War of Ferdinand. All the characters are just him. He's just
100 cards. He could field an entire expansion if he wants to.
That's true. So really, Ferdinand, tell us about yourself and save us from this pit we've dug ourselves.
Well, I mean, it's glad that you start with BattleCon because that was actually my first video during my YouTube stuff. So if you listeners don't know about me, Ferdinand Capitulo, the Cardboard Stacker, I am a board game reviewer and tutorial creator. You can all check my stuff at YouTube. Well, I think you know all this stuff already. So from the beginning of the podcast,
we do, but it's good to say again.
Yeah. Okay. So you can find me on YouTube. That's the Cardboard Stacker. That's cardboard Stacker. Stacker.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that is an actual word.
Yeah, I think the most involved thing you've done for Level 99 though is the weekly Millennium Blades videos where you featured a series each week and talk about the decks that can be built with it and the like the different synergies of it. So so I'd say you're a big CCG fan or a big collectibles fan. Especially since we're talking about gachas today.
Well, I think collectible card games are pretty interesting, and most of my experience have been through Magic, and that's more of a casual thing when I was since high school and stuff. Very into it when I was in high school, but I never got into league stuff or just only play a couple tournaments. My favorite kind of tournament is the booster draft. So
yeah, I'm a big fan of those as well. Yeah, well, tell us how you got into all the video work.
Well,
how do you become a reviewer like you are?
Well, first of all, I guess one of my inspirations is probably Tom Vassell from the Dice Tower, of course. Big influence. And I was been thinking of doing video reviews on there. Not good at writing, so I'm not going to do written reviews, but I was thinking of something to start with, kind of in there, but I was shared by, at a gaming event, I stumbled upon one of my friends, and he brought out the first edition of BattleCon.
Ooh.
And this is that very small box that had all 18 characters in it.
Oh yeah, the original brick size box.
And my mind was blown how the mechanics and the theme of the game actually was brought very much together, and that kind of changed my whole perspective of board game entirely. Is that game. And so to share my passion, I created my first video, which is the BattleCon review, and that's still on there. First video, that is. I don't like watching it though.
I know how you feel. I know how you feel.
That was 3 years ago, and my intro to board gaming was about 2009, about 4 years before that. So
wow,
yeah.
So is this? Do you work for a game store? Is that right?
Oh no, I recently yes. So
okay,
yeah.
Because I thought that maybe this was partially professional for you as well.
Yeah. So but I'm more into it now. About 3 months ago, I've been working for it's more of a board game event creator.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Ooh. Okay. Cool. Who's that?
That is the Board of Games, and that's usually we make events around the Southern California area. So you go check us out. We're in there's one in Fullerton, of course, where I live. I'm pretty lucky, and that's where I met them first. And then there's one in Santa Ana, West LA, and Burbank, and we also meet in Tustin. So, and you know, we're growing and expanding how we see fit. So,
okay, that's fun. You know, thanks Ferdinand for giving us the lowdown on the background of your character. You know, the story and the lore. Actually, Ferdinand is a person after my own heart. Because we do a lot of similar things. Guides specifically. We're also both Filipinos. That's great.
Yeah.
Yo, represent. Brad, you're outnumbered.
I am. I have been since you came on. I mean, you and Noko already outnumber me.
Yeah, and then you have Wicked Alucard, and then you have Ferdinand, and then you have... Actually, we just outnumber you. I think you are now surrounded by too many Filipinos. And
oh, it's fine. It's fine.
You sure?
You're all just voices on the internet to me. I don't even know what you look
like. That's impossible. You know what I look like, Brad. You can't lie to me.
Yeah, and I saw you in person, so therefore you saw me in person as well.
Liar, Brad.
I don't know. It's not like any of us make videos on the internet or something. Nobody could really know for sure what we look like. All these pictures might be faked.
Don't we all make videos?
We have all made videos.
Yes.
Which is kind of a scary thing too. Like anyone can find out exactly what we look like just by searching YouTube.
Yeah, that is scary.
Yeah, you can just search not just YouTube, you can just search it on Google. I just search Brad Talton and literally Brad's picture with like the pipe and the hat show up. Uh-oh. I mean, I guess that's good for branding, right?
I guess I'm internet famous.
Wait.
Is that what that means?
We're all internet famous.
Yes, we are.
My mind has been blown. I'm not internet famous, because if you search my name on Google, my face doesn't pop up.
Oh, me. Well, so, anyway, we should do let's get on to our questions. Let's, I've got to go work on pixel tactics after this podcast.
Uh-oh. Well, wait, online?
Yeah. My meeting with Cameron is supposed to be today.
Uh-oh.
So
okay.
Every Wednesday we get together and do this.
Oh, okay. Then let's spruce it up and finish it up. Okay. Welcome to our 99 questions segment of Level 99 Games on the Floor. The floor is Level 99 Games questions, and we'll ask questions to all of our listeners. To all of our hosts today.
Our listeners.
Hey, listen!
Answer in your own home.
It's an interactive
pause. Pause the podcast and then answer it, and then you get it. There you go.
Yeah.
It's like trivia night.
Oh, wait, okay. What is potpourri? Okay, anyway. Here you go. What if any traditional games did you grow up playing or play today? Stuff like checkers, cribbage, hearts, basically non-hobby board games. So can I start this question off?
Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody's probably grown up playing chess. And my question here is, does Monopoly count as a hobby game?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, not a hobby game. No, Monopoly's mainstream. That's a standard game. Yeah.
So Monopoly, because my family hates itself. What? You play Monopoly and you end up hating everyone who's playing Monopoly. You know this is fact. Because the only...
No, actually, everyone hates me.
Hey, I mean, I think we all played a lot of Monopoly growing up. But I feel the same way about Monopoly that I feel about gacha games, where it's not. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a good way to pass time with people you know. It's just, know when to quit.
Don't take it too serious. So, So speaking of Monopoly, I just don't know when that game ever ends. So usually the way it ends in my place is like every one of us just gets too bored to play Monopoly, so we just stop. That's kind of how.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get in a situation where it's not possible to lose anymore.
Yeah.
But and then the other players are supposed to give up, and it's pretty obvious when that's happened. But some people like to hang on to the bitter end.
Oh wow. That sounds awful. I'm so sorry. Playing with Ferdinand, do you play like
memories. I had some great memories of staying up till like 5 a.m.
I
playing
think
Monopoly.
I rarely seen a ending of Monopoly unless it's on a video game or computer. But rarely seen it.
All right. Yeah. Oh, and I've also played a lot of traditional, like 52 card deck games. Some of which are like very Filipino. I don't know if there's like an English game to it, but there's like a game called Pusoy Dos, wherein it basically plays like 52 card deck Uno, wherein you can place down cards only if for example, like you draw the top card, and then you can only play cards that are of equal value or higher value than that card.
Okay, yeah, that's. I mean, it sounds like a pretty standard laddering type of game, similar to like Tichu or those sorts of things.
Yeah.
I played
Those are pretty
Busoi.
common in China.
Yeah, I played Busoi, but it's a long time ago, like elementary school.
Yeah, dude.
We don't really play it anymore. Yeah.
Ferdinand.
Oh, let's see. Traditional games. I guess there's one called either it's called Shug, Gravel Sucker, but it's another ladder climbing game where somebody I think it's also called in the in printed version called the Great Dalmuti, but using a 52 card deck. So there's like a master who like has like a great advantage, and there's like someone who doesn't have a good advantage. So we call him like the gravel sucker or Shug. Yeah. And so he's basically a servant to the master. He's like dealing all the cards, and then after the cards are dealt, he gets like 3 best cards from him, and the master throws out his worst cards, and you play the ladder style there. And then you can trump the master if you win the game that way, but usually it stays with the masters for a very long time.
Well, because they seem to have an advantage.
Yeah, that was kind of the theory behind Kill the Overlord back when I made that, is that you have like you're trying to overthrow these other people and take their seats, but each seat comes with unique benefits. But I think Great Dalmuti is kind of the same way in that like there's a bunch of roles and each one has different abilities.
And the other one I played is called it's a family game. It's called Pekwa, and that is basically it's almost like a patience game where you just put down cards and the such. But basically, you start with if someone has the 6 of clubs, and you can play this like any number of players. 6 of clubs go down, then you kind of build through that, in a solitaire form. So it's 6 of clubs is on there. The next person who plays can either play a 7 of clubs going up or a 5 of clubs going down, and the object of the game is to get rid of your hand.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a game that we play at New Year's usually.
What's it called?
Pekwa. I don't even know. It's
okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Brad?
I played a lot of Monopoly and a lot of chess and a lot of checkers. I finally remember Easy Money, Risk. I mean, our family had
Is Risk a traditional
standard? Yeah, our family had a pretty standard, United States game closet.
I see.
We had all the, like Clue and, the Parker Brothers and Parker Brothers classics, all those things.
I guess anything from Hasbro too.
Yeah, like the older stuff. We got Apples to Apples in when I was in like later high school, and we had a great time with that. And then yeah, but it's just traditional games like that. I did play. I think I got a copy of one of the Dungeons and Dragons games like way back in the day.
Okay.
And that was my first introduction to hobby gaming. It was a Dungeons and Dragons board game.
Board game, interesting.
And me and my dad tried to play it, and we had no idea how to play the game.
Is it from the 80s?
No, this was the 90s.
Okay.
It had like these miniatures and had little little plastic doors and treasure chests. And
is this based on the third? Is this based on the 3rd edition?
I think so. I mean, it was a box board game. It wasn't like a real role playing game. It was like like they have the Castle Ravenloft games and like those nowadays. It was kind of like a precursor to those.
Okay.
It was a board game that used the D&D mechanics for combat.
That's interesting.
You would just dungeon crawl.
So you like roll d20s when you want to resolve stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And your characters had like my wizard had a D4 hit dice and died in 1 hit immediately and only cast 1 spell.
Nice.
I think this was the AD&D era. So AD&D was really tough to play if you were not savvy on how these games were played.
I see.
Yeah, I started in AD&D and then we moved up to 3. That was during high school.
Yeah. No, it was but that was my first introduction to the greater hobby.
Speaking of which, Brad, because before you move on, let's address the second question, which is what game or games really got you hooked on hobby games? So keep going. That was just me interjecting.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't really realize hobby games were a big thing until I got to college, and then I got involved in our game club at college, and I got to play Arkham Horror and Illuminati and some other games in that vein. and Cosmic Encounter and whatnot, and I got really into it. So it was kind of around college that I really discovered games were a thing. But I'd always been making games. Like I used to make after I played that D&D game, I tried to make like adventure games on my own.
Yep.
To play with my friends and my parents.
The birth of indies.
Yeah. I didn't really realize it was a thing until I got to college, and then when I did, I was like, "Oh, you can do this for a living?"
That's my life now.
Yeah, and here you are.
There
were a few steps in between here and there, but it's kind of the gist of it. Yeah.
Wow. So Ferdinand, what games got you really hooked on hobby gaming? You said it was like 4 years before your first video or something.
Yeah, so that was 2009, and I love telling this story. Is that I stumbled upon Catan at a garage sale, and it was half like sealed with the plastic wrap on it. And I was like, oh, interesting. I like Monopoly. Maybe this is a good board game. And and then I was like, oh, I went home like, oh, you can't sell it with the half plastic. I opened it. Oh, this looks interesting. I look online to see how it's worth, and like, oh, wow, this is actually worth some quite a bit. So I was like, oh wow, might sell it. And I was thinking about it, and it was like still on the shelf. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll play it. And then bam, into hobby gaming
forever.
Huh.
Yeah. So that's still
it's such a great game to start with.
Yeah. So I could have like sold it. I never been into this, and then got into more games, watched more videos. That's how I also found Tom Vassal. My second game was Tales of Arabian Nights.
Oh man, I love Tales.
Yeah.
That's a pretty fun game too.
That is a great one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
Dominion
that leap
came
right
out when I was in college, and that really changed everything for me too. Dominion was a huge gateway game for me.
But everything changed when Dominion came.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Brad, the avatar of the four elements. Anyway, for me, this is gonna sound stupid. I don't know, because my introduction to hobby gaming came in pretty late. It came in high school my time, but high school my time is like 2013, right? So that's like pretty late compared to both of you.
Just a kid.
Just tis but a lad. So I'm a cute little baby boy, and here's the thing: my first game, and I kid you not, is actually Battlecon War of Indies.
Wow!
Really, your first hobby board game?
Yep, my first hobby board game is actually like the first one I ever played. Like I don't even remember playing Catan or Arkham or any of those like quote unquote classic hobby board games. None of it. Mm-hmm. Like the closest thing I've played since then was like Cards Against Humanity, but I don't think that counts because it's like
I won't put it in the same boat.
Yeah, it's not in the same boat. So yeah, my first game is Battlecon War of Indies, and I've already told the story many times. So yeah, Brad is my first board game designer person that I subscribe to. Hey, whoever laughed, your fault, not mine. I didn't say it. You were the one thinking.
What?
Okay. Next question before I dig myself deeper into this hole. Do you play any lifestyle games?
Lifestyle games like Pokemon Go or
No.
No?
So a lifestyle game is basically a game that's built to be played, quote unquote, forever. You know how people play Magic?
Oh yeah, like League of Legends
or League of Legends,
Clash of Clans, or
Netrunner,
or or Pokemon
Arkham Horror,
CCG.
the card game.
There's an Arkham Horror card game.
Yeah,
they just released the LCG. Yeah,
well,
not just. It's been a little while.
My life's gonna be over. I'm gonna check it out then. So do you guys play any lifestyle games?
Yeah, I play HOTS, Heroes of the Storm,
Mm-hmm,
pretty religiously.
Pretty religiously. We should play sometime.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah,
you should add me as a friend sometime.
You're not my real friend. Oh no.
If we're not Blizzard friends, we're not real friends.
We're not I see how it is, Brad. I see how it is. How about you, Ferdinand? Do you play any lifestyle games?
No, I technically don't.
What? You don't play lifestyle
games? Not even Final Fantasy Brave Exvius?
I mean, I'll play time to time, but not like religiously. I don't.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. I've actually Have I met some? Yeah, technically, my partner doesn't play lifestyle games. But yeah, like most of my friends, if not all of my friends, play lifestyle games. It's interesting to talk to somebody who doesn't play lifestyle games.
I mean, I would say the closest thing was Magic, but that's like way before now. I mean, really the lifestyle game, and I don't want to call it this. It's probably just the whole gaming, board gaming. And that's it. So I had to get involved that way.
I think that's a hobby. I mean, if your hobby is playing games and not playing a like, I guess a lifestyle game is when your hobby is playing a specific game. I think that's probably a better way to state it.
Extra Credits put out a video about lifestyle games, and lifestyle games are essentially games that are meant to be your lifestyle. You know how some people are like gym people, and some people are like, you know, photography people. Yeah, but like a lifestyle game is something like, you know, I'm a Warcraft guy, or I'm a CSGO guy, or I'm a League of Legends guy. So yeah. It basically it's your life is essentially what it means. You know, when you're not playing the game, you're looking at derivative content, watching people on YouTube, watching esports of the game. You're looking at guides or whatever. Like
so my hard answer is then no.
Wow.
Okay. Well.
Wow. Well, everybody knows I play HOTS. I also play League. Is BattleCon a lifestyle game? At this point, for me, yes.
If you play regularly, then yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't always have to play regularly, but at this point, yeah. I guess Pixel Tactics Online will be my next lifestyle game.
We're hoping.
I'm pretty sure. And that pretty much does it for our 99 questions segment, where we talk about answers to your questions. We're almost at, this is episode 25, so, oh my goodness.
75, yeah.
Oh,
wow.
No. We're almost at 99. Hey, Ferdinand, once you reach 99, do you think we have to quit the podcast?
You can go like 99.1.
we can reboot. We had to do a reboot.
Reboot. Okay.
Like, it's a dark, edgy future reboot. We have like Cyber Marco and
and Shadow Brad
2.0 and Shadow Brad
and Ferdinand of Indians.
You know, we have guests, but they're all edgy future guests.
I see. So my intro would be, welcome back to the Level Cap podcast. I don't care. Sits in the corner. Everything is meaningless. Death. Die. Or something like that. I just quoted Reaper a bunch of times. I think that fits, right?
I guess.
All right.
Your alternate future persona is Reaper. I see.
Yeah. Gabriel Morales. I mean, look, I'm Filipino. Might as well be Spanish. Okay, so that's not even a joke. If you're Filipino, you might as well be Spanish. Okay, so that pretty much does it for that segment. Let's move on to the final segment, our News 99, where hot-baked news is shoved into your ears. This is getting progressively worse. I'm sorry.
I don't actually have any hot-baked news to shove in anybody's ears this week. I mean, things are ongoing. We're getting ready for Gen Con. Millennium Blades reprint arrived in port and is probably already at stores at this point. Woohoo. So go buy Millennium Blades.
Yeah.
Buy all the Millennium Blades.
Dollar bills. Millennium bills. I don't know. Millennium bucks? Whatever. Rap song.
My hit single rap song.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Ferdinand, do you have any hot-baked news to be delivered straight into the sweet earlobes of our life?
Oh, yeah, well, I really want to say, especially the fans who are following me on my YouTube for the Millennium Blades World, is that I will get more videos done soon. And that's it.
All right, that's great. And for my news, I'll get more videos done soon.
Okay. All right, you slackers.
Hey, slackers. Hey, I need to put out the Pixel Tactics online preview this week, and that will be coming out. So if you're listening to this podcast, this week means last week, so you've already probably seen it.
Yeah, so you've already seen it like a week and a half ago. Man,
this is the problem with this podcast.
This is the problem with news. No, this is the problem with the news segment on the podcast. You got exciting, fresh news that's already 2 weeks old at best.
So we should change.
What I need to do is like we got to talk about things that we're expecting to happen, like speculatively, like what happened last week, Marco? Oh, won the lottery, even though that's 2 weeks in the future. But next week, it's going to happen because I said it last week's podcast.
Eventually, it will be true. Gambler's fallacy doesn't exist.
Anyway,
and that pretty much.
Anyway,
you know what? Let's just end this episode. I've been a train wreck this episode. I don't know why.
You have. It's because it's early for you. See, what you're living now is what you make me live every Wednesday.
Hey, Ferdinand, is this my fault or is this Brad's fault?
I'm not picking.
Wow.
I say both.
Well, such a fence sitter.
Yeah, really.
Wow. Okay, everybody in the comments, everybody listening right now, write in the comments, Team Brad or Team Marco?
Marco's fault. Everybody write in the comments, it's Marco's fault.
I hope it's not me. I mean,
it's Ferdinand's fault.
It's my first time here, right?
Well, you did ask us to record in the evening, so
it's actually
it's still Marco's fault.
What?
It's still Marco's fault. He caved to that request.
You know what? I'm ending this podcast. I'm turning this car around. Ending this podcast.
Remember, it's Marco's fault.
I'm ending this podcast. And that pretty much does it. And that pretty much does it for this episode of It's Brad's Fault. It has been me,
Marco's fault.
Oh my gosh. It has been me, your host, Marco dos Santos. And with me...
Whose fault it is.
Oh, no. And with me is my co-faulter, Brad Talton Jr., CEO and fault of this podcast. And with us...
Co-faulter, I see.
Yeah.
All right, that works.
And with us is our special, awesome guest who actually
who's not in any way in fault.
Yeah, who's not in any way in fault and actually used this pro editing
Faultless
skills.
Ferdinand Capitula.
Yes. He actually used this editing skills to edit himself into this podcast. We actually recorded this without him.
Yeah.
His editing skills are just that good. So, so if you need a video edited, Ferdinand's your guy. So thank you all so much for listening, and we will, well, maybe not Ferdinand, but Brad and I will hear you guys next week. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.